Concerning the examination of item 7B, the plan is to start with a general debate and then proceed with the adoption of individual decisions concerning the reports on elements inscribed on the urgent safeguarding list. The Bureau meeting yesterday discussed the working method on this item, and I will soon ask Mr. Curtis to tell us more about it. Before doing so, I would like to propose that we do not immediately examine the decision on the report submitted by Azerbaijan on Shovkan, a traditional Karabakh horse riding game in the Republic of Azerbaijan. Draft decision 13-7B1. The reason being that there are some conversations underway about this report which need some more time. Subsequently, we will also set aside for later the adoption of the chapeau for this item 7B. We will examine all the other reports as originally planned. Are we agreeable to this line of action? Okay, thank you very much. Let us now move on and examine item 7B. Examination of the reports of state parties on the current status of elements inscribed on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. I'm pleased to see that so many reports have been submitted in the current cycle. That is 16 out of 19 which were expected. And this clearly shows the attention that state parties pay to the viability of endangered living heritage elements and to the safeguarding measures taken to improve the situation. The number of reports is high in comparison to past years, and we need to be mindful of the need for good time management. When adopting the agenda under item 2, I have referred to a specific working method that the committee may take for the examination of this item. In consultation with the Secretariat and the Bureau that took place yesterday, 25th November. I would now request Mr. Curtis to explain in more details the specific approach that the committee wish to take on this item. Mr. Secretary, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. This year, the committee is tasked, indeed, with the examination of 16 reports submitted by states parties on the status of elements inscribed on the urgent safeguarding list. I would like to propose that this item be presented as a whole, including an overview of the 16 reports analyzed along the three main themes, namely the effectiveness of the safeguarding plan, community participation towards the implementation of the safeguarding plan and in preparation of the report, and the viability and risks associated with the element. Following the overall presentation, the floor will be open for a general debate, whereby states that submitted a report may also wish to share their experiences in preparing their report or on challenges and opportunities linked to the safeguarding of these inscribed elements. After the closure of the general debate, the committee will then move towards adopting the respective individual decisions for each report as a whole and without debate unless otherwise requested by a committee member. Once all the individual decisions are adopted, the committee will then proceed to adopting the chapeau decision paragraph by paragraph and then as a whole.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. for your proposition and this new methodology. Does any member have any objection on this line of action or any comment to make? If there are no objection from the committee members, I would like Mr. Curtis now to present this item to us. Mr. Curtis, please.
With pleasure, Mr. Chairperson. As already mentioned, the committee has to examine 16 reports and provide a summary of those reports to the General Assembly in 2020. The table in paragraph 6 shows the list of all these 16 reports, which include 4 reports for elements inscribed in 2013, 9 reports for elements inscribed in 2009, and 3 overdue reports, 2 for elements inscribed in 2011 and 1 in 2012. The table in paragraph 5 highlights 3 reports from China that were expected to be examined at this session. However, as the committee examined the first reports on these elements during its 12th session last year, the second reports are expected to be submitted by 15th of December this year for examination at the 14th session in 2019. Thanks to the generous voluntary contribution from the Republic of Korea, which was approved in 2016 by the committee, an online reporting tool has been developed for states to submit their reports on the status of elements inscribed on the urgent safeguarding list. Latvia and Vietnam volunteered and successfully submitted their report using this online tool for 2 inscribed elements. The majority of the reports for this cycle are either the second ordinary report or a third report submitted by the states after submitting an extraordinary report 2 years after inscription. Due to the increasing number of second and third ordinary reports, the document highlights the importance of states addressing the concerns raised by the committee based on the examination of the previous reports. This year, for instance, the report submitted by Brazil on the element Yaukwa, the Enawene Nawe's people's ritual for the maintenance of social and cosmic order, takes into account the concerns raised by the committee through its decision 8Com6B taken in 2013, whereby the updated safeguarding plan has been adjusted to further align the activities to enhance the cultural aspects of the element. Dear committee members, please allow me to go through key points raised in the 16 reports along these 3 thematic lines. While I do so, the screens will show you rolling images of elements covered by the reports. The safeguarding plans implemented generally emphasize the partial or full achievement of the objectives initially set out in the safeguarding plans contained in the nomination files. 2/3 of the reports stress the importance of strengthening the capacities of the existing practitioners as well as of increasing their number. The establishment of training centers, transmission of traditional knowledge through its integration into educational curricula, and awareness-raising activities are the most common activities. 8 reports focus on the importance of youth for improving the viability of the element. For instance, the safeguarding activities of the element right of the Kaliadi Tsars from Belarus includes designing and integrating training courses for school children and creating practical workshops linked to the making of equipment related to Tsars. Another example comes from the report from France on the element Kantu in Pahiela, and I apologize if I haven't pronounced properly, which demonstrates the success of integrating the traditional knowledge into educational curricula, thus increasing the number of school children attending the Pahiela workshops to more than 500. 60% of the reports signal broader threats that go beyond the cultural dimension. For instance, environmental and natural resources associated with the living heritage, socio-political and economic contexts as well. The safeguarding plans highlight the broad cooperation put in place amongst different stakeholders to address these challenges. The report from Guatemala, for example, on the element Nanpach ceremony, talks about the safeguarding activities that have been designed taking into consideration the socio-political, economic and cultural realities of the communities. The safeguarding plan for the traditions associated with the Kayas in Kenya also aims to conserve and enhance the cultural and natural heritage, as well as empower the Mijikenda community and their livelihood opportunities. In the case of Mongolia, safeguarding activities are mainly conducted at the national level, thus portraying the important role the central agencies play in safeguarding efforts. The reports on all the 4 inscribed elements include safeguarding activities identified in the framework of the National Comprehensive Program for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage from 2018 to 2025. This seems to be an important action to streamline the safeguarding efforts and have a coherent approach at the national level. However, as safeguarding activities for each element require addressing specific challenges and needs, details about concrete measures for the safeguarding of each element would help in better understanding the safeguarding strategy. Therefore, Mongolia is invited in the respective draft decisions to update the safeguarding plans and provide further details in its next reports. The document highlights the importance of the international assistance that has been granted from the Intangible Cultural Heritage Fund to safeguard some of the inscribed elements. Such is the case for Uganda, that received an international assistance in 2017 for community-based self-documentation and revitalization of ceremonies and practices associated with Mpako naming system. A description of how such assistance has helped to safeguard the element will allow the committee to better understand its impact. States are generally encouraged to coordinate these actions with the ongoing safeguarding measures as per submitted file. Overall, the majority of states reported that communities play an important role in designing, implementing and monitoring the safeguarding plan. An increased involvement of non-governmental organizations, associations and local governments has been emphasized, such as in the report from Latvia on the element Suti cultural space, where details upon the open community participation approach for the preparation and implementation of the safeguarding plan has further led to a multi-annual cooperation with live communities in Latvia and the Seto and Kinu island communities in Estonia. A similar approach is being witnessed in Kyrgyzstan for the safeguarding of the art of Kyrgyz traditional felt carpets, as well as in Mali for the element Sankemon, whereby the communities as well as local organizations and NGOs are involved in policy development for improving the safeguarding measures. About half of the reports omit reporting on gender roles and responsibilities in the implementation of the safeguarding plan. However, the reports emphasize emphasize this aspect do mention increasing participation of women in designing and implementing these plans. For instance, Vietnam on Chatru singing reports that 80% of the practitioners are now women, and in addition, Mauritania's report on the Moorish epic Tehidin refers to the importance of the involvement of both men and women in the implementation of the safeguarding plan. Overall, the reports mention the involvement of communities in the design and implementation of the safeguarding plan. However, it seems that their involvement in the preparation of the report is still rather limited. 8 reports submitted in the current cycle include positive signals about the improved viability of the inscribed elements, in particular through increased participation of communities. However, states have signaled that some risks that affect the viability of the elements. The most common risks that were stated are change in demographics, urbanization, as well as changing migration trends. Lastly, the improved viability of the element is sometimes linked with the possible transfer of the element from the urgent safeguarding list to the representative list, as is the case for 2 reports submitted by Mongolia. The generous contribution from Japan to finance an open-ended working group and a preliminary expert meeting on some broader themes concerning the listing mechanisms should also allow a reflection, will also allow a reflection on these transfers issues. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. We can finish for today.
Thank
We
you.
have only no time for interpretation, so.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I now open the floor.
No, I think we're finished today. So okay. Finished today. It's 7:25. Oh, no, that's okay. Oh, no, it's okay. Okay, I'll open the floor. We have 10 minutes. I think we're finished. It's better to finish.
I now open the floor. Is there any committee member that would like to take the floor at this stage before adoption of individual decision for the 16 reports? Let us move towards adopting the decision as a whole.
No, excuse me. One by one. Excuse me. No, you go straight to him. The second.
Okay.
Mali cannot take it.
Okay.
Mali would take it.
Mali, please.
Ok, merci Monsieur le Président. C'est la première fois que le Mali prend la parole dans cette salle. C'est le lieu pour nous, au nom du gouvernement de la République du Mali, de saisir cette prise de parole pour remercier la République de Maurice pour la bonne organisation de cette 13e session, l'accueil chaleureux qui nous a été réservé. Je voudrais également vous féliciter, Monsieur le Président, et reconnaître lors de cette session vos qualités sans doute avérées pour conduire et orienter les travaux du comité. Je voudrais également remercier le secrétariat pour l'ensemble du travail abattu, aussi dans la préparation des documents, des qualités de cette session. Le soutien multiforme du comité, son écoute, qui ont tous abouti aux échanges constructifs lors de la mise en œuvre lors de l'établissement des rapports périodiques. Et justement, parlant des rapports périodiques, et concernant les éléments inscrits sur la liste de sauvegarde urgente, le Mali a 2 éléments inscrits sur cette liste. Et chaque fois qu'on établisse le rapport concernant ces 2 éléments, nous nous demandons quand est-ce que ces 2 éléments vont sortir de la liste de sauvegarde urgente. Donc, c'est une préoccupation majeure. Les pays qui m'ont procédé ont posé sûrement la même question, notamment le Maroc. Quand est-ce que les éléments inscrits sur la liste de sauvegarde urgente sortiront de cette liste? Merci bien, Monsieur le Président. Et je voudrais aussi dire que le Mali reste toujours attaché à la mise en œuvre de la Convention de 2003 et surtout en matière d'inventaire, d'inscription et de promotion de cette Convention. Merci bien.
Merci, Mali. Algérie, s'il vous plaît.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président. Effectivement, cette question de la liste de sauvegarde urgente et le transfert de liste à liste, il faut vraiment s'y atteler et nous invitons nos collègues à y réfléchir de manière plus approfondie afin que quand nous entamerons la discussion à ce sujet, que chacun ait dans l'idée des propositions concrètes pour pouvoir établir les nouvelles règles de passage de liste à liste. Et j'aimerais aussi qu'on prenne le temps de regarder ce qui se fait ailleurs au sein de l'UNESCO, dans les programmes et les autres conventions. J'ai dans l'idée l'exemple du programme MAB, l'homme et la biosphère, où dans ce programme très petit mais très pertinent pour la planète, on a réussi à avoir au sein du CICMAB à faire adopter ce qu'on a appelé la stratégie de sortie. Ça veut dire qu'au bout d'un moment, quand un élément inscrit sur la liste du MAB, s'il ne répond plus aux critères ou si les rapports sont en retard de plusieurs années ou si la situation a évolué, qu'on inscrive cet élément dans une liste et qu'on réfléchisse à le sortir de sa situation ou en le délistant ou en le passant dans une autre liste. Cela équivaudrait à avoir un suivi plus pertinent des éléments que nous inscrivons, parce qu'aujourd'hui, nous inscrivons des éléments dans les différentes listes et on se demande quel est le devenir de ces instruments. Et il ne faut pas oublier que la première raison d'être de cette convention, c'est la sauvegarde. Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président, et nous remercions également les États membres du comité de nous avoir écoutés. Merci.
Merci, Algérie. On va clore cette session avec Bélarus, parce que là, on est limité par le temps et il est déjà presque 17h30. I'll now invite Belarus to take the floor and to share with us the experience.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Indeed, today is a very important day for Belarus because Belarus is a country which has submitted all the both reports at that period, the periodical report and the report on the state of the element inscribed in the urgent ICH list. And it is the second periodical report and the third reports on the element inscribed in the ICH list. Very big practice for reporting. And we are very happy that both of our reports were improved by the Secretariat and expert community, and I hope that they will be approved by the committee. This is a great honor and for us and a big responsibility. And these reports were completed with the involvement of many stakeholders. First of all, bearers and representative communities, expert communities, volunteers from different NGOs. And also, the both reports are based on the annual monitorings of the ICH elements and the huge research work. They are thankful to the committee for the actual recommendation concerning the improving of the safeguarding policy for the ICH in Belarus. Really, reporting is a good tool for learning of ours and understanding ourselves. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Belarus. Members, you will agree with me that we had a very good day. We did a lot of good work and in the right spirit. And we are already 5:30 in the afternoon. And we'll have, of course, to resume tomorrow morning. I would like to thank every one of you for the good spirit under which we have conducted this first day of our session. I would like also to thank all interpreters, and with your permission, we shall stop here for today. And of course, our session will resume tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. And just to remind Bureau members that before the session of tomorrow, we'll meet at 9, of course, to coordinate everything. With these few words, I suspend today's session and hope that you will have some time to rest and also to appreciate the Mauritian hospitality, since we are going to have light up till 7 or 7:30. Thank you very much.